Hi everyone, good afternoon. Welcome back to yet another interesting conversation on marketing automation. This is based on a case study done on a success story in tech by Oracle. Let's start by welcoming our speaker for the session, Saurabh Galgali, Solutions Director, Oracle. Saurabh, it's a pleasure to have you here with us today. You're on mute, Saurabh. You need to unmute yourself.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Now, before I request you to take over, I'm requesting all the delegates to keep posting their questions in the chat box, and Saurabh will address the selected few at the end of this session. Over to you, Saurabh.
Thank you. I'm audible and you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you all for joining this presentation today. Day 2 of the session, 4 p.m. Friday evening, a case study presentation, maybe a second last or a third last case study presentation. I mean, it can't get more exciting than this, right? Okay. Anyways, I'll make it more interactive. I've got some very interesting content for all of you. So my name is Saurabh Galgali from Oracle India. Today I am going to speak of marketing automation, how it has helped a financial services company in India. And I'm going to cover it, how it 182 steps. For you to understand my session, you need to be a DBA. You need to know a little bit of Java, a little bit of HTML, a little bit of Visual Basic, VB, VC, and a little bit of Perl scripting and Unix scripting, right? And I'm going to cover these 182 steps in just about 20 minutes. Anyways, I was just joking. It is not that difficult. It is very simple. And let's get started. You don't need to do all that before you start this presentation. Anyways, so before we start this presentation, actually we at Oracle, we were in a dilemma. The dilemma was when you have got one of the leading financial services customer in India who is using their marketing automation in Oracle. When you have got a leading automobile company in India who is running their entire enterprise applications in Oracle, and when you have got a leading telecom services provider in India who runs their entire website in Oracle, for this session. So instead of making one person happy and disappointing the other two, I thought let me do this session myself. So let's get started with this session, gentlemen. Before we start this session, I'll just ask one question to the audience. Let's begin with the legend. Do we know who he is? We all know who he is, right? No marks for guessing who this gentleman is. Today, I'm not going to talk about him. I'm going to talk of his better half. I mean, I'm not speaking of Anjali Tendulkar. I'm speaking of his bat. While we know most of the things about Sachin Tendulkar, is his best bat that he has used in his 20 years of career. Well, okay, let me give you some names. There is an Adidas CX111 that he has used. There is a Kokapura bat and there is a Kanua bat and a GNM bat. Can anyone take a wild guess on which is his best bat? Let me give you some more data points. Let me give you the weight of the bat. The Adidas one will weigh about 1360 grams and the other two bats are going to weigh somewhere less than that. Now, will you be able to tell me which is his best bat? Maybe yes, because I have given you some specific data points. We all know Sachin used a heavy bat. So you might think maybe the Adidas one would be the best bat, but we're not sure. Let me give you one more data point. This bat has scored more than 18,500 runs. And the remaining two bats have scored less than 10,000 runs. Now can you tell me which is his best bat? Right? Most of you will know the answer by now. Yes, the Adidas bat that he has used. So how did you make this decision that this is his best bat? Without data, you are just another person with an opinion, right? The more and more data I provide, the more and more attributes I provide, the more and more information I provide, that helps you to make a decision. At Oracle, that is what we are. We are a database company. We are a database company. We have been a database company for the last 40 plus years. Our investments in data have started 10 years back, and today we have a most comprehensive set of data assets that make it easier for customers to collect their data, to put it for use for segmentation, campaign management, personalization, recommendation, so on and so forth. So let us look at what data is from a marketer's standpoint. Let's look at a marketing universe. When you look at marketing universe, you've got the suspects, you've got the prospects, you've got the customers. So who are suspects? Suspects are people who come to your website, who talk, who look at your banners, but then you don't have any information about them. Prospects are people whom you have got some information, but they are not your customers. And customers are customers. They have purchased products, they talk about you, they speak good about you, they speak bad about you. Look at specific visitors in the entire ecosystem. All these three visitors thrive on data. When you are an unknown customer, the data that you need to market to them will be your third-party data. When you are a visitor or when you are a prospect, the data that you will need will be transactional data, will be your behavioral data. If you are a customer, you will need more promotional data. Oracle, as a database company, has got all solutions for all the three specific audience in the marketing universe. With that, let's begin with the presentation with the specific case study of a marketing automation for this. So this customer of ours is the largest financial customer in consumer durables in India. They are credited for being more innovative, bringing more innovative products in the industry, and they have been using our solution for the last 4+ years. When they came to Oracle, they came with very specific problems. The first problem they came to Oracle was the journey of the customer has changed. I mean, 10 years back, when this financial services customer in India was serving their consumers, the journey that their consumers followed was pretty linear. I mean, they had customers who used to browse their website, buy a specific product, maybe a loan product or insurance product or a finance plan. Maybe then they start investing. And then they had some technical issues. They may call up the contact center and then solve the issues. Then they renew it after a year and then they go on continuing about it. Right? That was a journey that they were following maybe 5 years back, 6 years back, 7 years back. If you look at the journey now, the journey is pretty non-linear. I mean, no customer is going to follow the same pattern that they were following earlier. I may not browse, I may not research, I may directly buy. Look at the Amazon of the world, look at the Netflix of the world. I don't need to buy, I don't need to browse. I can start using it, and if I'm happy, I can then go ahead and buy. So the scenario has changed. And on top of it, multiple channels. And I may browse using my laptop. I may then do some research on my laptop, on my mobile device. I may actually buy a finance product by talking to a financial service advisor. And then I start investing using my SIP in my bank. And if I face some issues, I may decide not to call. I may decide not to log in the email. I may decide to tweet about it. So I'm using multiple channels that I have got to reach out to the brand. And the brand was finding it difficult to address the queries, the questions coming from different channels because they had to show a consistent behavior across multiple channels. On average, the consumers of our customer, 75% of them used more than 3 different channels. So they had to be active, they had to be consistent across all the 3 channels for all the 75% of the customers. The customers were leaving lot of signals. Signals were there on the website, signals were there in the chatbot, signals were there in the contact center, signals were there in the app. But our customer was not really able to capitalize on that. They were not able to interpret these signals. They were not able to join the dots and create a meaningful insight out of that data. That was the first challenge statement that they came to Oracle saying, can you help us in that? The second problem was very interesting. The second problem was communication, communication, and communication. I mean, just similar to a dialogue that Vidya Balan said in the movie, entertainment, entertainment, and entertainment. What does this mean? A customer gets an email. The email says we have got exciting offers for loans, exciting offers for insurance. I open the email, I may not open the email. Even if I have opened the email, after 2-3 days, I get another email. Now, what does that email say? Same stuff, exciting loan offers. Right? This is for one line of business. There is another line of business that is doing fixed deposits. They also decide to target the same customer. He gets an email. We have got very attractive fixed deposit offers for you. I might open the email, I might not open the email. Even if I open the email, I get the same email again. We have got good offers, invest in FD, invest in FD. 2 email communications for one particular line of business. And if you've got 20 lines of business, that makes it 40 communications. For 1 person. And this doesn't stop here, ladies and gentlemen. by an SMS. Again says the same thing, exciting offers for you. The SMS is followed by a push notification. The push notification also tells you the same thing. We have got exciting offers for you. So one particular customer gets 6 different communication, used to get 6 different communications from one line of business. And if you've got 20 lines of business, that makes it to 120 different communications. That was a problem statement that the customer was doing their brand with their customers. And that was leading into a very bad customer experience. The other problems that the customer service providers, a different group for sending emails, a different group for doing SMS communications, a different group for doing the app notifications. Lack of segmentation, lack of personalization, no single view of the customer, and the customer was bombarded with a lot of emails. What's the solution for that? When they came to Oracle, Oracle decided to sort of provide a solution based on the vision that we have got for modern marketing. What does the vision say? The vision can be divided into 3 different pillars. One is cross-channel and data-driven communication. Communicate across various channels, communicate across preferences, their interests and behavior. The second pillar speaks of personalization, how you can be contextual when you're doing a communication to your customer. And the third one was orchestration, how to use multiple channels, be it email, be it social, be it app notification, to communicate with your customer in the preferred channel that he prefers. So our solution to this financial services customer in India was based on cross-channel, was based on personalization, was based on orchestration. Let me cover a bit of all these 3 in the next slides. When we implemented our solution at this customer, the customer did not see channels. They saw brand experience. Imagine a product giving you an option of communicating with your customers across 10 different channels. One solution, you can send him an email, you can send him an SMS notification, you can send him a push notification, you can connect with him on his Facebook, you can do a WhatsApp notification, you can do a notification on the website, you can do a search notification, you can do a display notification. I mean, one solution providing multiple ways of communicating with your consumers was something that excited the financial services. Second was personalized communication. I mean, what you see in the screen is just one email. One email, let's say from a furniture company, where they are doing a newsletter communication to all their customers, but it is personalized. For a person who is single, the footer of the newsletter will have more specific content to his needs. For a person who is married with kids, I may want to show him a double bed, I may want to show him a wardrobe for kids when I am sending a communication. For a person who is single but who has defaulted on the payments, I may want to use a different filter. For a default person where I don't have much information about it, I may decide to use a different filter. So the tool allowed that financial services company to personalize the email very specific to the product that the customer has purchased, make it more contextual, make it more personalized for his product and for his experience. And the last one was orchestration. Orchestration, very exciting word, everyone uses it. What it actually means, very few people follow that. Let's take an example of Sita. Sita gets an email. Sita gets an email. Sita sends an email. Sita sends an SMS notification. She prefers to use an SMS notification. Once she downloads an SMS, I know that she is a more SMS person, so I send her a link to download my app because I want to communicate her on the app rather than an SMS. Once she downloads my app, I then do an upselling and cross-selling to Sita on the app. And depending on her behavior, I then move her to the nurture app. Sita goes, come Geeta. Geeta is not an SMS person. Geeta is more on emails. So I may send her an email, but the moment I see she's opening emails, I may send her an email to download the app. Once she downloads the app, when she has opened the email, I will do an upsell, cross-sell to her using the app. Depending on what channel the customer is using, I will want to communicate with that particular person. Let me give a very quick small example of how orchestration can be used. You have a list of people whom you want to send some reminders of, let's say, premium notification. I send an email premium notification to, let's say, all the people. Depending on their behavior, I wait for 15 days. Person who has opened the email, I may want to send him, whether I want to check whether he has renewed the policy or not. If he has renewed the policy, yes, I send him a thank you message. Thank you for renewing the policy. Upselling, cross-selling communication with him. And I check whether he is opening my communication or not. If he has, yes, he has opened the communication, then I can send that lead to a CRM. If he has not opened the communication, put him into a nurture campaign. This is one flow. What if he opened my first email, but he did not renew the policy? In that case, I'll need to send him a reminder notification. Now, this reminder notification, ladies and gentlemen, T minus 75 should not go for everyone. This should only go for those specific people who have not responded to your email. Send him a reminder notification. I again check whether he has opened the emails or not. If he has renewed the policy, I send him a thank you notification. If he has not, I try to look at a different channel to communicate. What if he has not? In that case, I may want to send him a push notification. I may want to do a WhatsApp notification. I may want to do an SMS notification. So the point I'm trying to make here, ladies and gentlemen, is this is a canvas. A marketer can draw this canvas on the solution. You can actually design a journey. This is not one journey. This is one canvas that encompasses multiple journeys. If you can design a specific journey for your customer, depending on what action they will take, and start the program is going to run on itself. That is what the financial services company did. Instead of blasting everyone with an SMS, which is more costly to send, they decided to send email notification first. They decided to send push notification first. And if they have not opened emails or push, then they decided that we will use other channels. What you're doing in this, you are eliminating that multiple communication that is going to the customer, to your consumers, and you're also saving price by not really doing email blast, SMS blast, and push blast across for all your customers. This was the orchestration example that we have got. This is how the canvas that the tool provides, which has been widely used by the financial services customer we are talking about, to run their campaigns on. And another very, very important recommendation that Oracle provided to this customer was, in a traditional way, you will start with the campaign, you will create an offer, you will schedule it in the calendar, and then you will send it across to different people. Instead of doing that, what we recommended was you start with the customer. Start with the customer first, build profiles, design an experience for that, and you have the ability to interact individually. Even though you are doing a mass communication, the communication that goes to each and every specific person in this profile makes it feel like a very individual and personalized communication that increases the overall response that you get from the campaigns. The traditional way versus the Oracle Marketing Cloud. What was the architecture that we had for this customer? We had data from various sources. We had got sales data, service data, loan origination data, website data, app data. This data was consolidated at a data warehouse, data mart. From there, the data was fed into the Oracle solution, which was made up of segmentation, content, and reporting. And this gave an input or handle to 6 different communications that we could do. And this didn't end here. We used to get back the data, that is the behavioral data, the campaign behavioral data. How many people are opening my emails? How many people are really responding to my messages? And then we used to feed it back to the system to enhance and enrich our data. This was the overall marketing architecture that we had in place for this financial services customer in India. And what were the benefits? Responses became one vendor to manage all the channels. Oracle became one vendor to manage all the channels. Oracle helped them specific governance across different channels. 95% inbox delivery over 4 months. The bounce rate was drastically reduced. Open rates were increased. And most important, we were able to increase the product density. The problem which they came to us was most of the people were having only one product from this financial service company in India. And they wanted to at least have 2 or 2.5 different products. And we were able to achieve that over a period of 1.5 years, where we increased the product density from 1 to 1.8. The future is here. This is what marketing automation helps you to do. This is what the leading financial services customer in India achieved over the last 3 years, and now they're happy communicating with crores of their customers using different forums. This is what I had got for you. If there are any questions, I can take them now.
I think because we're short of time, we can take one question if it's okay with you. The question is, how do you decide the funnel, or how do you design the journey of how many reminders are enough, and when does it become spam?
Yeah. So how do you decide the journey that how many are enough? So there is something called as a campaign execution report that our tool provides. So what does the campaign execution report provides? It tells you a snapshot of you have sent this communication to, let's say, 1,000 people, out of which 20% of them have responded in the first email, another 30% responded in the second email, and 80% of them responded in the last SMS that you have sent. So that is insight that the tool gives it back to you. And that is the insight that I'm speaking of when I'm saying getting the behavioral data back into my tool. Exactly similarly. I use my gut feel to the campaign. I will precisely use it this way: email, and SMS notification. That is what I'm going to do in the second campaign. Does it answer the question?
Yes, Saurabh. Thank you. With this, I think we are up 1 minute from the decided time. I would like to conclude the session by thanking you for joining us here today, for making the conversation so interesting. Thank you. I would like to thank all the delegates for joining in. I would request them to check our exhibition booths. Stay tuned.